Hey everyone, it's Xant. Sokai Week is finally upon us, but remember that if you really want these suits, it might be best to wait for a future Bullseye to guarantee the suit for less horror. However, it may be many months before then. But seriously, who can wait with that tantalizing full armor unicorn staring us down? Before we get to that though, let's talk about the Banshee Nord. Now, this is a Banshee upgrade, and it exchanges the BS and VN equipment, Beam Smart and Vibration Nails respectively, for the DE and XC Defense Extension and Xeno Connect. Beyond those, however, it's the same suit. Regardless, I will still talk about the weapons. It has a Vulcan turret set, a Beam Magnum that has a revolving launcher on the underside, and this revolving launcher has a Beam Jut, which is a short beam saber, a BOP missile, which is 4 small missiles packed into one, an MGAAP, which is an armor-piercing flash shell. They can destroy mobile suit shields outright, and a micro-hide bomb. These are small bombs that are fired grape shot style. It has 4 beam sabers, 2 can be used Tonfa style, they're on the arms, and the 1 armed armor DE. Now this is actually the shield, with integrated eye field. It's built with Psycho Frame, it has 6 thrusters and a mega cannon, so it's a pretty stacked shield. The Armed Armor XC Xeno Connect is the whole backpack unit, and that allows non-new type pilots to activate the NTD system, while also increasing the pilot's affinity with the suit itself. Hopefully this suit has the same good stuff as its predecessor did stat-wise. I'm really hoping. Our other Sokai suit this week is the Full Armor Unicorn. Wowee, this sucker came sooner than expected. Much like how the Norn is an equipment upgrade to the Banshee, the Full Armor is an equipment upgrade to the Unicorn. Typically, Full Armor designations mean more armor, but that's not the case with this variant. It went and added weapons. So many weapons. The best defense is a good offense, am I right? Now, some of the weapons on here were actually ripped directly from warships, so this one's going to be a doozy. I can't wait to see the cutscene Thanos circus, you know? So, with that colossal backpack of weapons, what does the Full Armor Unicorn have in total? Well, it has a Vulcan turret set, 6 beam Gatling guns, 1 beam Magnum, 4 beam sabers, 2 of them can be used as Tonfa, they're built on the arms, 3 shields, so it has 1 on the left arm, 1 on the right arm, and 1 on the back, and that gives it a very large eye field coverage, so it can just kind of naturally deflect beams. 2 hyper beam javelins, 2 hyper bazookas. Now, these actually also have 2 grenade racks, grenade launchers, and anti-ship missile launchers built into them. Those are some crazy bazookas. Oh, and it also has 24 hand grenades, because that's necessary. Beyond the warship-to-go loadout, the Unicorn also has the Sinanju's Intention Automatic System, allowing the pilot to intercept enemy thought waves and predict movement. As Unicorn also has the NTD system, New Type Destroyer, it can pretty much automatically hunt and terminate new types while reading their minds to make its job easier. That is absolutely terrifying. Who built this? Who thought this was a good idea? Our welfare this week is the Hyperion Gundam, coming from Gundam Seed X Astray, a side story-ish manga. Now, the event name, the Light Shield prototype, is referencing the fact that this Gundam was being used to test a mobile suit variant of the Lightwave Shield. In case you forgot, or didn't watch Gundam Seed, this was what wrapped the asteroid base Artemis, and made it impervious to all external weapons, as long as the shield emitters had power. Imagine that perfect defense on a mobile suit. Hopefully you understand why they tried putting a base tier defense on a little wee suit. Beyond that, this suit also later got a nuclear reactor, so it had practically unlimited power to feed its shield and beam weaponry. Someone stop this madman. So what was the final weapon count of this prototype? Well, it had a CIWS turret set, 5 beam knives. Now these actually had independent batteries, and that allowed them to be thrown. I think that's actually pretty cool. A beam submachine gun, and actually one of the beam knives is mounted on the bottom, like a grenade launcher, so it can be quickly ejected and flung at whatever you want. 2 beam cannons, and the Armure Lumiere Lightwave Shield. This could only last for 5 minutes until the nuclear reactor and Endjammer Chancellor were installed. Attacks could go out of the shield, and the shield could have its shape modified to be used offensively. Its sole weakness was anti-beam weaponry, as this would punch a hole clean through the shield, go at the Hyperion, and that's all she wrote, folks. So, yeah. Thinking about it, why did nobody do that to the Artemis? Considering it was just a stationary platform, okay, I'm thinking too much about this. Now, as this is a Sokai, we'll be getting the welfare suit's pilot as well, which is Canard Pars. A product of the Ultimate Coordinator project alongside Kira Yamato, he was deemed a failure, but was the only one who managed to escape being terminated, because there were a lot of people involved in the Ultimate Coordinator project and a lot of lab rats, putting it nicely. So yeah, he was the only one other than Kira that made it out. His life's goal was to actually find and kill Kira, to prove he wasn't a failure and to justify his existence. He was picked up by the Earth Alliance sometime after escaping, becoming part of the Earth Alliance Special Forces. Talk about an edge over your peers. Because, okay, remember, he was part of the Ultimate Coordinator project. His capabilities were already much higher than average for coordinators, who are already insanely talented. And that's, completely beyond comparing him to Earth Alliance counterparts. He had just such an edge. The guy could fight against both Lao and Guy, so he's got something going for him. Now, Canard eventually defected and created his own mercenary group with said Special Forces members that he knew, which is pretty much where it ended off for him. Oh, right, actually, he did have a chance to kill Kira near the end of the manga, but decided against it. Moving on to our gacha pilots, first up is Hyling Care, a Ribbons Allmark clone from Gundam 00. The innovative pilot of the Garazo, Hyling was fanatically loyal to the innovator cause, acting as a weapon for Ribbons, whether in a mobile suit or not. She's got tons of kills under her belt, and was shown to be capable of practically fighting celestial being pilots to a standstill. I say practically, because she always ended up losing a part of her machine by the end of things. But hey, for a combat clone, that's not a bad showing. I wish there was more backstory to her character, but being a clone that only got activated and brought in around the beginning of Season 2 of 00, or at least sometime after Season 1 ended, there's really not much to talk about. Our last pilot and final item this week is McGillis Farid, one of the antagonists of Iron-Blooded Orphans and the initiator of the Gallarhorn coup. Originally a street urchin, he was kidnapped and taken to a brothel, only to eventually be adopted into the Farid family by Isnario, the patriarch at the time. Kinda weird, adopting your brothel toy, but here we are. Ugh, no wonder he turned out so warped. After some time, he joined Gallarhorn and began climbing the ranks, which is around the time we're first introduced to him in IBO. McGillis spent most of his career trying to expose the corruption he knew was present within Gallarhorn, which culminated in the previous mention of him staging a coup to completely usurp power. He was kinda corrupt himself in that sense. Anyways, he was a schemer that eventually got his way and gained control of the Bale Gundam, a symbol for Gallarhorn, during his coup. Unfortunately, his power high was cut short when the Gallarhorn fleet commander took none of his crap, refused to admit that he is the new leader, and brought the entire fleet to bear on McGillis and subsequently Tekadon for aiding him. It was a brutal ending, and one of the reasons I enjoyed IBO so much. Okay, that's the video portion done. Now I'm just going to do a very quick thing in post here, because this is like my 4th time recording this, and I can never seem to keep it below 2 minutes, so I want to make this super quick. So, when Alternation was originally added to the game, we only had some OG suits, Zeta, Exia, and Gundam. And Alternation seemed to be a way for the devs to bring these suits back into not meta, but at least into a usable form, adding extra traits, boosting the EX skills, stats, and things like that. That was awesome. But now, with the shadow dropping of the Full Armor Unicorn and the Banshee Nord, of which I did an impressions live stream already. You can find the link in the description or the video on my channel, whatever floats your boat. Check it out, it's really cool. I do some rolls at the end with Sukiya and Mika, so 10 out of 10. As I was doing that stream, I decided to take a look at the alternated forms of these suits, as if you look at the notice I've brought up here on the screen, there is a limited time alternation event going on for them, and it doesn't say when they're going to return. So those parts are amazing when they're alternated, especially the Full Armor Unicorn, and I feel like it kind of defeats the original, at least the original presented intent of alternation and what it was going to bring to the game. So, as a user during the live stream said, Knight, perhaps they're thinking about adding a shop alternative to these coins that you can buy them, whether through event shop trading or real money or HAR or something, but just another way to obtain them. Because right now you can only get them from completing laps, which is not beginner friendly. It's not very friendly to a lot of people from what I understand, because people build a certain way and suddenly being told you have to build completely different throws people off their game. And beyond that, the other way to get them is through gacha. So with those two options presented, it's not exactly feasible. So if they added another way for us to obtain it, platinum coins, arena coins, event trading, whatever, I'd have no real complaints about this, as it means even new players would have a chance to alternate at least one or two parts. But we'll see when we get there. As right now it's just speculation, we don't know until the event starts, as it begins in a couple of days, which I'll be doing a live stream impression for, because we didn't get the pilots, the welfare, or anything. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, I'll stop. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you for the impression stream in a couple of days.